In a single month, we sent over 8.8 million cold emails for just one of our clients that were all 100% personalized with AI. And we're not just talking about writing custom paragraphs about each prospect's LinkedIn post or their most recent case study. In fact, I'm doing the complete opposite of what every cold email guru teaches about AI personalization. And it's working so well that our clients are landing meetings with companies like Apple, signing up thousands of users per week and generating millions in dollars in annual pipeline. And so in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how we use AI to personalize millions and millions of cold emails and explain why over-personalizing might be nuking your campaigns right now. Let's get into it. All right, so this is what I call the personalization trap, is that most people think that AI is a silver bullet and that the more AI personalization I add, I will get better results. And they're using AI to write things like, "Hey, John, I saw your most recent post about scaling your marketing team and noticed you work at Google for 5 years. And what I've learned after sending tens of millions of cold emails is that the more we try to force AI personalization, the worse results become." For example, when Directive Consulting was a brand new client of ours, their founder, Garrett, wanted to do all the best and coolest AI shit possible. I mean, these guys want the best because they are some of the best. They are one of the largest marketing agencies in the entire world. They run ads for companies like Gong, Apollo, ZoomInfo, Amazon, and they really know their stuff. And Garrett really knows messaging. And on our first call, I remember it like it was yesterday, he goes, "You guys are the best. I want the best. So I want the craziest AI stuff you can possibly think of." And so what we did is we came up with 3 different copy variants at the very beginning. The first one is a unique offer that Garrett wanted to try that didn't necessarily have any cool AI stuff in it. It's a proprietary offer we use right now for a lot of our other clients that are trying to drive meetings, and it just prints positive replies for them. Unfortunately, it's one of those things where we're under NDA with him, and Garrett asked me, "Hey man, I only want you to use this strategy with other clients. We need to keep it on the down low so it continues printing cash for us, but we helped really perfect this strategy, so please feel free to use it for your other clients." So right now we can only use it for internal clients, and so I can't say too much. 2, our bread and butter, my favorite type of copy. I like to call it short and punchy. No AI personalization typically. It's just straight up. It's, here is what we do, here's who we've done it for, would you like to learn more? Right? And then the third bucket that we did for them was the stuff that Garrett was asking for. We did everything. We did all the cool stuff like pulling in how many ads a target company is running on LinkedIn or Meta or Google. We pulled in the copy from those specific ads and injected it into the email copy. We did crazy matrix things, or built matrices where we would dynamically match the target leads offer with a certain copy that had worked really good for directives ads that they had ran for other clients. So we could be like, "Hey, here's an example of an ad we just ran for so-and-so." It was the coolest, up to Garrett's request. It was the coolest AI shit you can imagine. And we went to market with 19 different campaign variants in those 3 buckets, and the results will probably blow you away. In dead last was all the cool AI stuff. Why? Who knows? But in my opinion, the marketplace doesn't care how fancy your offer or your copy or your AI was. They only needed the answer to one question. And that question is, how good is your offer? Nothing else matters. So in second place, to my embarrassment, was our short and punchy copy, my bread and butter, right? It beat all of our baseline stats. And to Garrett's credit, this was the first time a client had ever beat me in copywriting. And Garrett deserves all the praise for that. We love working with them. And so if you're paying attention, the only one left was Garrett's special proprietary offer, and it totally slapped. 0 AI pure offer. And so to give you a hint about this offer is it's a combination of we eventually combined the short and punchy copy mixed in with this unique value proposition copywriting trick that Garrett taught us, and it just prints meetings for them. I mean, in fact, just in the last quarter alone, in Q3 of 2025, our cold emails brought in business that they closed won, and that was for over 484 grand in annual recurring revenue for their team. And they're really good at closing, so they deserve all the praise. Then you might be asking, how do I personalize emails with AI the right way? Because there is a right way. And here's what actually works for us. And it's one of those things where it works great for us. If it doesn't work for you, whatever, but it's what serves us, so hopefully it serves you. And I like to call this, I need to come up with a better term, but I like to to write my AI in a way where it's inferring knowledge about the prospect. I like to insert little variables inside the copy that make the prospect read between the lines and feel like I understand them without having to tell them that I understand them, right? It's the difference between showing and telling, I think. And I think that's why it works this way. It just feels maybe more human. I'm not sure, right? And the perfect balance, I think, comes from truly understanding the psychology of the buyer and how they think, but in a dynamic way that scales. And so I don't think it's, that you read a cool case study on their website or saw they raised funding or that you saw them like a post like a stalker. So here's an example of what exactly I'm talking about with this inferred knowledge, right? So when we're sending emails for our client RB2B, who we're generating over 130 grand a month in LTV for, we don't write, hey, I noticed you recently raised a Series A and you posted about your hiring challenges. Instead, I like to use AI to identify the lead's ideal customer profile and industry and personalize just that part. For example, let's say the lead is a SaaS founder of a marketing SaaS who targets marketing folks at a B2B company. Then what I would write is, we just built an AI tool that will let you know when marketing directors are on your website. That's it. It's simple, direct. It converts one sign up for every 52 emails that we send to founders in that demographic, which are Adams Robinson's ideal customers. Another example I can give you is for Fixer, where we were generating over $4.3 million in annual pipeline for them and signing up about 900 users a week and sending 8.5 million emails per month. They're the ones that I hinted at in the very first line of this video. Let's say you were sending an email to the sales director of a professional services company, right? So we would inject a line that would say, hey, we just built an AI tool that saves most people an hour a day. So that would leave you more time to be able to hire your next BDR, close your next client, or pick up your cup of coffee an hour later in the day. Real quick, before I break down the backend system we use to do all of this at scale, if you want us to handle this for you, from AI personalization to cold email infrastructure to sending millions of emails per month to your total addressable market, click the first link in the description to book a free call with us. Anyways, back to the video. Here's exactly how we use AI to send millions and millions and millions of emails every month that are personalized with AI at scale. So step one, identify your personalization variables. And so what this looks like is when we're doing the copywriting process, the first thing we go, cool, like if we could write the perfect copy, what would that be? And oftentimes if we can get the founder to write the copy, that typically ends up being the best one. What we'd like to look for in there are little pieces where we can inject these little inferred knowledge pieces. The great thing is that you can use tools like Clay to do a lot of this for you, and they make it really, really easy to do it as well, right? What we try to look for is either can we get background on their job title, their seniority. Most importantly, I like researching their website and just having our AI visit their website in order to get its information. And then it can usually infer a lot based on the person's job title, like maybe what their responsibilities are. But that's it. We're not scraping LinkedIn for their hobbies or what's the coolest 5-star restaurant in their town that they live in. That's probably incorrect on LinkedIn. Step two is you then create those dynamic variables. So let me actually show you our Clay tables that we used for RB2B and Fixer right now. So we love to use Clay for a lot of this stuff, and they make it super, super easy for brand new people, tons of teams to use it. Everybody knows about Clay nowadays. And so let's go ahead and show you one of the exact variables that we use for RB2B. And so here is a list that we built for them. This is like a growth list of people who have growth in their title. We do our normal waterfall stuff. We're checking multiple databases, validating it through Lead Magic, validating it through Wizza, things like that, right? And eventually we get a bunch of true emails that are 100% validated. As you can see, we get 99% of a market typically. It's pretty great like that. But here is where we do the cool stuff with AI. And so here, what we're doing is we are using Claygent. I like to use GPT-4.1 Mini. It is the absolute best bang for your buck right now in regards to price and also efficacy of the model. If you can get away with it and you don't need something super advanced, 4.0 Mini is technically cheaper than this, but 4.1 Mini is a lot better. So you can see the prompt here. Determine the job type or type of customer that this company usually sells to. Using the two inputs for a guide as they do. The first input is their company LinkedIn URL, and the second input is the company's website. Who gets the most value out of the product, and what is their usual job title? Give me up to 3 job titles or types of customers. Do not include any numbers or extra information, just a comma separated, i.e. X, Y, Z. You have two Z's there. That's funny. The list of titles or types of customers in a plural tense. Do not get any data from a website that is not the input. Please think thoroughly through your process and take your time. It's very important that this is accurate and well done. And this is important. You need a guilt trip to AI. My job is on the line that this needs to be done correctly. Your output should be a maximum of 10 words and not mention the company at all, but focus 100% on who their customer is. And that one, we tested at scale. It got us, it's like 100% accurate. We never once had anybody report that it was like, hey, I don't actually settle those people. And so here, right, you can see that it visited Zoom Info to research the company a little bit more. And it says these guys sell to sales managers, business managers, and bakers. And so what we do for our B2B is we go, hey, we just built a tool. It identifies individuals on your site. So that way you would know when sales managers, business managers, and bakers are on your site. And so it imbues that just intricately inside of the email. And we can do this at scale for millions and millions and millions of emails. And the thing is, it's relatively cheap at, oh, it's not going to actually, what is it? 0.0604, right? Per line. If you're sending 100,000 emails per month, you can personalize just like this for $604 a month, which is really great. When we were doing it for clients like Fixer, you get really pricey though, right? So if you take that number, when we were sending 8.8 million emails per month for them, and that right there is why we got this little OpenAI thing in the mail the other day, because we use a lot of AI tokens at scale. So let me give you a second example, right? So this one's exactly for Fixer. Unfortunately, I don't have like real data to show you or whatever, but I can still show you the prompts. And for Fixer, we actually did a multi-step prompt as well. So we didn't just use AI once, we use it multiple times. And so we find that this is extremely helpful when you're having to do multiple things. And so here's the prompt, right? What are some ways that a title who works at X company could use Fixer? Here's the information about the company. Here's the company name, company website, the person's first name, the person's last name, the company name, the person's title, and the company's website. It's funny. We had the company website in there twice just to make sure, I guess, right? That's also kind of the beauty, is that this stuff doesn't have to be perfect. So task 1, research the prospect thoroughly. But if you are unable to find an answer, to make your own assumptions about how a title at a company name could use Fixer well, think about questions like, what types of emails should this person typically be clearing in their inbox? If they had more time, what activities or meeting could they do with the highest ROI for their job? Perform in-depth research on first name and their company name. Using advanced Boolean search techniques, use the following information to guide your research. Person's LinkedIn, the company domain. In addition, run Google searches for any job descriptions of their role, recent press releases, partnerships, awards, or any public data related to first name, last name, and company name. Identify relevant accomplishments, upcoming events, conferences, notable client wins, personal interests, and any other valuable context that might help personalize the outreach. The goal is not to directly mention anything you find, but rather to draw conclusions from the data and use it to inform your response. If you cannot find any data, then make your own assumptions about how a title at a company could use Fixer well. This is what Fixer does. Fixer is an AI executive assistant that offers various services designed to save users time and its productivity. Its primary offerings include 1, drafting responses. Fixer automates email replies, generating pre-drafted emails in the user's tone, making it ready to send. 2, sorting emails. The service organizes emails into actionable labels while filtering out the spam and junk, and ensures users only see important messages. 3, note-taking. Fixer can join meetings to take notes and send detailed follow-up emails afterward, so no critical information is missed. 4, proactive learning. An AI continuously learns from the user's past emails, adapting to their voice, expertise, and priorities for better service. 5, team integration. The platform supports collaboration among multiple users and includes advanced features for larger teams and enhancing overall productivity. 6, flexible pricing. Pricing scales with company size, and a free trial is available to potential customers to explore the services. 7, security. Fixer complies with major security standards, including blah, 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 ensuring that the user data is protected. Overall, Fixer focuses on AI to provide efficient administrative support, allowing users to reclaim the time of the day, make focus on more time. And the unique pairing of Fixer, respond with a short paragraph, do not include any symbols. And so here's the trick with this one, is that this is only doing our research. This is not doing any of the copywriting, because if you give AI 2 tasks, it usually sucks at that. So the first task is do the research. And then the second one here is actually the copywriting part, right? And so here you can see the quick prompt. We just go, cool, here's all the information about the person. Here's all the research from the previous output. And then here's the prompt, right? You're an AI sales assistant, an excellent sales email copywriter, understand the project thoroughly, blah, blah, blah. Here's what we want you to do, yada, yada, yada. Ensure the output is grammatically correct, blah, blah, blah. Here's an example output. First name, if you had an extra hour in your day, where would you spend it? Calls with top clients, team strategy, actually leaving the office on time, make sure to thoroughly reach, think deeply, and produce the final personalization. So this one is the one we would go, cool, it saves most people an hour a day. Here's a bunch of examples of what that hour could actually mean for you, right? Moving on to the last one, what this one would do is it would take the output from the previous two and it would take in the whole context of the email. So this is where you can do an AI really good. Is like, if you actually tell it the copy that it's going to get injected to, it's pretty good at making these dynamic variables come into play. And so here we're saying, hey, here's the variable for the email from the previous thing. And then here's the exact copy we're going to do. And then here's where you're going to input your new variable into here. And so the output that we eventually get through all of this prompt and all of that kind of stuff is we get something here. So the way that we would do this is after we do the previous output and it goes, it saves most people an hour a day. So that would leave you more time for blah, blah, blah. And then what we would do is we would write a line after that that said, that means that you can deploy those hours into growth, whether that's building pipeline or an early dinner with the family. So we would hit them again with these extra variables inside of it. And once again, it isn't boring. Hey, I saw you do this, or I saw you do that. It's like, no, like we're trying to really like make them feel like we understand them, which helped a ton. There's a lot of copy here. So what I'm going to do, we'll have a link in the description to the copy so you can actually see what those things are, right? So step 3 is let the data tell you what works. And so we are huge on data. We are just doing everything we can within our own portal to make it so that we have just layers and layers and layers of analytics so we can just skin the cat in so many different ways. And so that includes like understanding the different variables within every single campaign that we're running so we can understand which ones are actually driving results for a client. Like here, if we go to this campaign, I can see exactly which variants are driving signups for our B2B here versus the other variants that we have done. I can see that this one just isn't as good, even though it got significantly more email sends, for example, right? And so the data is going to tell you what actually ends up being the best. And so the best thing you can do is come up with a bunch of ideas, set up 20, 30 campaigns with all these AI variables, and then just let them run and let the marketplace tell you what actually works. Don't try to predict the future, or at least that's not how we operate. And so you can see an example of this for here. This is exactly what we did with Fixer, right? And so when we started with them, there was a couple phases. One, the initial phase was, let's send, we were going to help them raise their Series A. They were in an accelerator program trying to raise their Series A. And so we started with 26 different campaigns. Some of them had AI, some of them didn't. And, but we found the top 5 campaigns for them. And some of these were horrible. Some of these, you had to send 25,000 emails to get a positive, but some of them were good, where you only had to send 1,900 emails. And don't worry, we made that a lot better. We got their best campaigns down to 600 emails. We'll get someone to sign up for their platform, which was just excellent, especially when you're sending 8.8 million emails a month. That's for sure. That's how you sign up 965 users a week. But the other thing that we noticed in these is that the AI variants actually gave an uplift. This isn't always true, because one more thing with AI is like, only do it if it works, right? To do these types of campaigns with AI for Fixer, it costs us tens of thousands of dollars a month to be able to do that properly for them. And so you really got to make sure, like, does the AI actually, is it worth that extra squeeze or not? And the data is the only thing that is going to tell you that. And so we track everything in real time, which industries respond best, which personalization variables matter, which ones hurt conversions. We kill the losers, scale the winners, and go on from there. And then even then, we just added something too, where we're starting to heat map all of our positive replies, so we know exactly where they're coming from. So we can know, okay, most of our positive replies, they're coming from these headcounts, but then we can even break it down from client to client. So if I pull up our B2Bs, I can see that 70% of all their positive replies come from companies that are between 2 and 10 employees. Super interesting, right? Most come from software, financial services, information tech, management consulting, marketing and advertising, and so on, right? And so the data is really what is going to be king. And then what's crazy, one thing that surprised me with a lot of this stuff is that some of our verticals with 0 personalization performed way better than even using light personalization. And so it's really important to just test these things and figure them out. And that's it. Step 1, 2, and 3. But I did leave out step 0. And that is, if your offer sucks, none of this matters. At the end of the day, you have a good offer, and cold email is simply an accelerant to somebody who has a good offer, right? And a cold email in general cannot fix your business if your offer isn't good. Now, look, setting up all of this yourself is definitely not easy. You need to build infrastructure, you need to set up multiple sequencers, you need to constantly test thousands of variants, you need to manage deliverability across millions of emails, tens of thousands of domains, and figure out which AI personalization strategy actually works for your specific audience, your specific business. And so if you want us to handle all of this for you and turn cold email into a reliable lead generation channel that's fully managed and developed by us, then book an intro call with us by clicking the first link in the description. We've added millions of dollars in ARR for our clients already, and I'd love for you to be our next case study that we could talk about. So click the first link below to book your call. And if you want to see how I send over 500,000 cold emails per day and help our clients work through our offers, then watch this next video.